So welcome to our last video. This is about the tools. Remember I said I like the academic, the theoretical side. We need to have some kind of framework to make sense. But then there's that farmer side of me, and it's the tools, the application. And when folks come into our office, these tools that I share, this is what I use 3/4 the time to help that client actually get to something that's meaningful and helpful. So let's talk about our tools real quick. Remember, I've got two theoretical frameworks. One is Gallup Q12, right? And the other is DISC. I combine these two, and that becomes part of our overriding conversation of what does the situation need. So let me just take you through a little tour. We start in the Northern Hemisphere. That's about pioneering, action, assertion. There's a forward lean. We're trying to stretch that rubber band that wants to go back. So how do we maintain that stretch so the rubber band moves into our new paradigm? We'll talk about tools such as extreme innovation, thinking outside the box. We'll talk about keeping momentum and accountability with grow conversations, war battle plans, basic goal conversations to keep that stretch and make sure we're moving in that forward place, because that's what some folks need sometimes. That's what some situations need. When we go to the Southern Hemisphere, this is all about reliability and stability. And we're trying to slow things down and make sure there's clarity. And so there's a lot of meetings, right? Say there's 6 different types of meetings, and we don't want meeting stew, so we need to separate these out. We give you some scripts for that. We also talk about change management. When there is change or something's moving in the system, how do we really slow everything down to make sure everyone's understanding? And as we talk about that, there's tons of Gallup Q12 that's coming up. You obviously see the DISC parts coming up. When we get up here to the D area, this is about commanding, drive results. We need to get stuff done. We talk about one-on-one performance reviews. What does success look like for this position, this role? What are the expectations, the standards, and outlining that, and then showing you how to have a conversation. Even behaviors, what are the expected behaviors? Now you have a one-page script to have a really meaningful performance conversation with one of your employees. We also talk about business metrics, right? So balanced scorecards where we look at financial metrics, operational metrics, customer satisfaction metrics, and culture and people kinds of metrics, just to make sure we know what results are, what success looks like. If we come down here to the S area, that's starting to get into my area. This is about inclusiveness, support, harmony. And we talk a lot about trust and behaviors that we can start to use today in our families and our workplaces to start to build a larger trust account with people. Because if I have more trust with you, we can have better one-on-one performance conversations. We can do better change management. You start to see how all this starts to integrate. We went to S, we go over here to DCCD. That area is about resolute, challenging, justification, high expectations of finding problems and resolving them. So we talk about tables and legs, identifying what is the true core problem of something, right? I have this tendency to throw solutions on the wall. How do we stop and slow down and make sure we're identifying the core issues? And then we also talk about tough feedback, right? If someone's not performing to the standard that we've talked about, what that expectation is, what is the script that I can use that's very descriptive, that helps us get to the heart of where the challenge is, and having conversations of getting someone back on track, even in extreme situations, progressive discipline and termination. What's that even look like? Which is very hard for me because this is unnatural. So I lean on these tools, these scripts. If we go to the right-hand side, this is actually my area. This is where I score SI. These come very natural to me. In conflict, how do we have a collaborative conversation, a win-win, where we get to the core of an issue and come up with something that works for you and it works for me, and there's a 1+1 synergy that comes from that. And then we'll also talk about positive feedback. When someone's above performance standards, what does that conversation look like? Very descriptive. And if that keeps happening, how do we continue to grow this person and make sure we move them into those right positions or those right responsibilities? So positive feedback, that one comes real natural to me. Okay, and then we've got to come down here to the C area. We're talking about data analysis, cost benefit analysis. When we make decisions, what is the data telling us, right? And just getting in the habit of that, it brings up more healthy conflict in meetings, and it helps me as a team leader know how to make decisions with a little bit more objectivity, and then even strategic planning, where we can analyze, step back from the organization and start to see what are the advantages and disadvantages, and what do we prioritize and what do we execute on. So some analysis that goes with that. And then lastly, up here in that I energy, it's about encouraging, enthusiasm, energizing. It's about motivation. You can't motivate people. The best way to motivate is to find their internal talents and help them become strengths. So we call it name it, claim it, aim it. How do I, with my team members, find out where they're wicked smart, where their shoulders are the broadest, and help them grow into those areas? And even development plans, individual development plans. How do we continue to build bench strength and have that conversation to help someone move forward? And so what you have here, you have our like 16 power tools where you can be aware of the situation, and then move to a tool that seems appropriate for that conversation. And it's helped me in my career, right? If I'm over here, this is my comfort zone. I have lived on these scripts over here to help me be more well-rounded, to be more yin-yang, more holistic, right? And you're going to find the same for you. So the point is, you leave with something you can apply that very day somewhere in your life. I use them as a parent, I use them as a team leader all the time, and you're just going to have more confidence in who you are as a leader, and you're going to get better results. So that's a little overview of the different tools you're going to learn. Along with the live course, you're going to have a platform. It's yours for life, and it's got all the tools in there. And it's got demonstrations in there. It's got worksheets in there. It's got pre-recorded lectures. You can always come back and review something about the Gallup Q12 or one of these different energies. So super fun. I hope to see you in our next cohort. You guys take care. We'll talk real soon.